Let's turn from there to what's happening in Parliament. Northeast seems very far away from our parliamentarians because they've spent an entire week now simply in a parliamentary deadlock. Opposition parties mounting pressure on the Modi government, insisting on a debate on the Pegasus Snoopgate. Amidst all this, a fresh war erupting over the Information Technology Parliamentary Panel meeting, which failed to take off due to a lack of quorum. Shashi Tharoor, among others, in the eye of a storm there. Now the Supreme Court says it will hear a plea on Spygate next week. Paulomi Saha has more.
Parliament in a stalemate. With no end in sight to the standoff over Snoopgate, a fresh war has erupted. This Parliamentary Committee for Information and Technology is sharply divided. At the centre of it is a meeting that was supposed to happen on July 28th, but couldn't due to lack of quorum. What irked the opposition was the refusal of officials of Home, IT and Telecom ministries to attend the meeting at the last minute. Panel Chief Shashi Tharoor has shot off a letter to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla seeking action against the officials. Sources in the ministry, however, claim the panel was informed of their inability to attend as early as July 23rd. The BJP members of the IT panel are also turning up the heat on opposition. BJP MP Nishikant Dubey has petitioned the Speaker demanding Tharoor's removal. In his letter, Dubey accuses Tharoor of questionable activities inside the House as well as in the committee to tarnish the image of democracy. Dubey says Tharoor is known for his eccentric nature as well as acute psychological disorder and disorientation. The BJP MP also accused Tharoor of bringing unauthorized strangers to panel meets. The face-off comes right after Dubey accused TMC MP Mahua Moitra of calling him a Bihari Gunda at the meeting the BJP boycotted.
यदि बिहारी गुंडा कहा तो इसका मतलब ये है कि हिंदी भाषी लोगों के प्रति तृणमूल कांग्रेस का व्यवहार क्या है। यदि झारखंडी गुंडा कहता तो भी बात समझ में आती। और बिहारी गुंडा एक बार नहीं 3 बार कहा। ममता बनर्जी को खुद जो है संसदीय दल के नेता हैं, उनको खुद माफी मांगनी चाहिए। महुआ मैत्रा को जो है पार्टी से सस्पेंड करना चाहिए।
Now I'm supposed to have called somebody a name. Please check the attendance sheet. If that person who he claims I have called him a name, if he were present, then it would have been the 10th. He would have been the 10th name. If he had been the 10th name, there would have been a quorum and the meeting would have continued.
The stalemate continues in Parliament too, where opposition forced adjournments demanding debate on Snoopgate.
सर शुरू की दिन से सर विपक्ष की तरफ से हम ये मांग करते आ रहे हैं कि पेगासस जासूसी कांड की सदन के अंदर चर्चा हो। उसके साथ साथ सर किसान की मुद्दा है, कोविड की मुद्दा है, महंगाई की मुद्दा है, कोई असुविधा नहीं है सर। सदन में हम चर्चा चाहते हैं। गवर्नमेंट इज रेडी फॉर डिस्कशन, बट मोस्ट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दे आर नॉट अलाउइंग द पार्लियामेंट टू रन एंड द क्वेश्चन आवर इज द राइट ऑफ द मेंबर्स। All more than 350 members want the question hour. Despite of that, behaving like this, it is most unfortunate.
While the government is refusing any debate or probe into Snoopgate, the Supreme Court will take a petition next week. The petition filed by journalist N. Ram and Shashi Kumar demand a judicial investigation into charges that Indian citizens were potential targets of hacking through the spyware Pegasus.
Another week, another washout. The ongoing Pegasus row stalled proceedings of both houses of parliament again on Friday. Now, while the centre is unwilling to concede to the opposition's demand for a structured debate on the snooping scandal, the latter are likely to push forward with more steam in the coming week, especially after the Supreme Court agreed to hear a plea seeking an independent probe into the snooping charges next week. With camera person Ashok Bhanot, Paulomi Saha in Delhi for India Today.
Let's raise therefore the central question. Has the time come now for the Supreme Court to hear the Pegasus probe, one way or the other, to decide whether there is enough evidence to have a further probe? That's the question I'm going to ask to two top lawyers who are joining me. I'm joined by Siddharth Luthra, former Additional Solicitor General, Dushyant Dave, Senior Advocate and former President of the Supreme Court Bar Association. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. Dushyant Dave, to you first. You've been a fierce critic of the Modi government on this particular issue. Do you believe that Parliament is the best forum to debate this issue, or do you believe because there's this deadlock in Parliament, it's the Supreme Court that should be looking at these allegations, which are of a highly sensitive nature that could involve questions of national security?
Let me begin with a preface, Rajdeep. I think it was on 25th November 1949 during the Constituent Assembly debate. Members were wondering and asking Dr. Ambedkar whether India will lose its democracy. Dr. Ambedkar pondered over the issue and made a statement, and this is all part of the Constituent Assembly debate. He said that if there is a landslide, there is every possibility that India may lose democracy in fact, but may retain it in form. We are today facing a situation where what Ambedkar had said, those prophetic words are coming out to be true. There is no reason why government should say no for a debate in parliament, because right to privacy is one of the most sacrosanct rights of human beings. And if that right is violated as obnoxiously as it has been through Pegasus, then I think government owes an obligation to the nation. It has a constitutional duty to allow the debate and confront the issue. Government should have ordered an inquiry at the highest level on its own. Government should have, because as we all know, NSO supplies only to the government. So there are two ways of looking at it. Did the government do it? Let us assume for the sake of argument, government didn't do it. Even then, why did the government fail in finding it out? What were the intelligence agencies like RAW and Intelligence Bureau doing?
No, but what is the evidence on the basis of which we are going to say this probe must take place? A list has come out, right? A list has come out with several numbers. Those numbers are being now tagged to particular names. Is that enough in your view, given the fact that, let's be honest, in the past we've had cases of snooping, there have been allegations in the past of hacking. Is that enough? I ask you this, Dushyant Dave, for the Supreme Court to order a probe? Or do you believe the government in itself is the one which should be open to telling us exactly how intelligence services operate, and will that involve questions of national security? I want that question. Right to privacy important. Government will say right to privacy must be balanced against national security.
Proof of the pudding is in eating it. NSO published on 30th June 2021 Transparency and Responsibility Report. And apparently they did it fearing the worldwide outrage. This is what they say. Lastly, we very much see today's release as a newly added necessity to the complex, ongoing international debate over electronic surveillance. We are opening our processes to even deeper scrutiny in an effort to inspire our peers, while also opening new avenues of interaction with our fiercest critics. We remain motivated and candid. Now, they say that, look, if there is any misuse, they admit that there is a misuse in this report, then we will cancel all those contracts. Today, NSO has admitted that large number of contracts with many governments are cancelled. We don't know whether one of them is Government of India or not. But all these must be brought before the parliament. Ultimately, democracy is represented through parliament, which is the house of the people. Now, if you are going to shy away and not even allow a debate and then tell opposition that you are disturbing parliament, I think it doesn't do well.
I will push you one more time before I go to Siddharth Luthra. The government will say that, look, we cannot provide you details of the contracts that our intelligence agencies have. This would be, I'm telling you what government sources are telling me in the Home Ministry. This would involve a violation of national security concerns at stake. We cannot put it all out. Which contracts are signed cannot become the subject of a national debate.
No, it is very childish for government to say that. I'm sorry, Rajdeep, because we are not talking about, exposing any activity of the government of surveillance against terrorists or against hardcore criminals. We are talking about surveillance of respected citizens belonging to politics, journalism, law, activism, civil society. Government had no business. These agencies had no business. They should have prevented this kind of surveillance if they were not responsible for it. So I don't think this is extraordinarily, it's dishonest on the part of the government to say that, yes, there is
of course, this is the assumption that the surveillance has taken place. The government at the moment is even denying that. They are even denying the fact that any surveillance has taken place. So, Siddharth Luthra, do you believe that there is sufficient at the moment for the Supreme Court to enter the fray, because Parliament is refusing to debate it? IT panel, the government officials don't appear before it. Should the Supreme Court step in? Will this lead to another tangle between courts and the executive?
I don't think it's a tangle between the courts and the executive, because as I agree partly with what, substantially with what Mr. Dave said, the issue is really about two things, about privacy and about conformity with the law. Now, let's be very clear, whether it's the Information Technology Act or the Telegraph Act, surveillance of individuals is legitimate and possible in certain regulated circumstances, highly regulated circumstances. The question that really needs to be asked is this a regulated surveillance? If so, there will be government records to that effect. If it is not a regulated surveillance, then it's a breach of the law, and that needs an inquiry. And the simplest evidence for that is anybody's phone device who claims to have been tapped. The point is that will show a electronic memory to show that the phone has been accessed, and when the software was installed, and when it may have been pulled out, or whether it still exists. And that memory will remain in the hard disk or the memory of the phone, of the instrument, and that's simple enough. It's the most simple of inquiries or investigations, if it has to be done.
So are you saying that the Supreme Court can order the private individuals allegedly whose names were on the list to subject their phones to forensic analysis? Remember, a number of them have changed their phones. A few of them who've handed it over, some of them have been found to be infiltrated with the spyware. Are you saying the Supreme Court, therefore, can virtually direct the police or direct whoever is put in charge of this investigation, if there is to be one, to actually conduct this forensic analysis?
I think if the court decides, if the practice has been in the past that the Supreme Court does not direct investigations, but it oversees investigations and it monitors investigations. It will really be for an investigating agency, if there is a grievance in this regard by any individual, any number of individuals, to seize the devices, get them forensically examined, and come out with the evidence. And that's, I mean, it's very, very basic and simple. There's no great shakes about discovering that your phone has been hacked and what has hacked it. So it's not a very complex exercise. The question is really, it will require the handing over of hacked phones by the individuals concerned, and that also we have individuals who complain about the fact that their phones have been hacked. Now that can be done.
None of them have filed FIRs though. None of them have filed FIRs as yet, Mr. Luthra.
Absolutely right. They've not filed FIRs. I must also tell you, each instrument has a distinctive IMEI number. So the mere fact that you have sold your instrument or disposed it off, it can always be tracked, because that instrument, if it is alive, it will be available within the networks, hopefully in India, and it's very easily trackable. It's a matter.
And not necessary to file an FIR, Mr. Luthra?
Well, there are two ways to do it. One, a person can make a complaint. The other alternative is the police can suo moto take cognizance of the fact that there is these grievances of phone hacking, and they can record information. That does not necessarily mean that arrest will follow or somebody will be implicated. It would be an FIR without knowing who the offenders are, and then the investigation will determine who are the offenders, the private or otherwise.
FIR against unknown persons, therefore, is possible. But at the moment, the police doesn't seem willing to do anything suo moto. Let's be very clear on this. Dushyant Dave, therefore, I come to you. In the last week, Parliament has not functioned. In fact, now more than a week on the issue. As I said, the IT panel on Pegasus, the government officials refused to appear before it. Mamata Banerjee in Bengal has now appointed a 2-member commission to look into it. And some journalists, N. Ram and Sashi Kumar, have gone to the Supreme Court. I just want to understand, in certain other countries, proper inquiries have been put in place. Even Algeria has put an inquiry in place. Do you believe what kind of an inquiry can take place on an issue like this without compromising national security?
Look, this bogey of national security is completely nonsensical. Nobody is saying that you disclose in any investigation the names of the terrorists whom you are surveying. Nobody is saying that you please produce the record of what those terrorists are doing on the chatter. That's a daily chatter. It has to do with the intelligence agencies. We are talking about, it's very simple. No FIR is needed. Will the government have the courage to file an affidavit in Supreme Court and say that there was no surveillance? On 20th December 2018, government came out with this notification under the Information Technology Act and allowed 10 different agencies, including Central Board of Direct Taxes, the Director of Revenue Intelligence, and Commissioner of Police Delhi to intercept people's phones. Now, what was the need for doing this? See, government agreed before the Supreme Court when Puttaswamy case was being argued, where right to privacy was being debated by 9 justices of the court. Government said that we have appointed Sri Krishna Commission. We are awaiting the report. We will bring a law. The government deliberately, now that the report comes, government doesn't bring the legislation.
So we don't have a data, that's exactly it. We don't have a data privacy law in place. The government says, look, even in the past in the UPA, the NTRO was allegedly being engaged in surveillance. Surveillance didn't start in 2014. It's always been there. That's the argument. I'm trying to explain their arguments. Their arguments are very simple. And we don't have a data privacy law as of now as a legislation in the country.
It's not that we don't have. We have law. In fact, the law requires that, a responsible officer of the rank of Joint Secretary must authorize it. So all these must have been authorized by some people. So government should be asked to produce those files. 1, 2, if UPA did it, let the investigation go as many years back as possible. Every political party must be investigated. No government is free. Ultimately, you and I as citizens, we have to live in an atmosphere of fear because of this kind of nonsensical surveillance. There is no privacy left of people. So I think it's too serious a matter. This really strikes at the very foundation of our democracy, our democratic values. Our forefathers, gave sacrifices not for this kind of a democracy and governance. This is an issue of complete absence of governance, and it requires investigation. Whichever way Supreme Court does it, Supreme Court may do it directly, appoint a commission of inquiry, or appoint, a highest level investigating agency and directly report it to the Supreme Court. But truth must come out. Okay. We are talking about truth.
The truth must come out, even if the truth may involve concerns that the government has that this could involve issues of national security, because you believe this is a bogey, that the national security issue cannot be used. Am I correct, Siddharth Luthra, as a final word? Because you believe that in cases like this, at the end of the day, an individual's right to privacy must prevail over all else.
No, the issues of national security are met by the safeguards in the law that exists in India, the laws which permit tapping. So that information is something which if an inquiry takes place, is a privilege which the government can take in relation to those people who are covered under national security issues. But the question really is, are there those who are other than national security issues being tapped? Are their phones being surveilled? If that's the case, and that is the aspect, and if the government is not doing it, then the large question is, who has allowed this to happen? Because then it's clearly a criminal offense.
Okay.
And that means
I want to say one thing.
So 15 seconds only.
Rajdeep, you know why this is so important? Because this is clearly an attempt to undermine democracy and freedom. Why are you targeting a select group of people? Each one of these people who are being targeted, opposition leaders, journalists, activists, civil society members, because
government
they are
says this is an assumption. Government denies it. Government says this is just a list.
What prevents government in agreeing for a fiercely independent inquiry? I mean, it's not good enough for government to simply wish away. This government will wish away everything. Okay. This government can deny even COVID. This government has said on parliament that nobody died of lack of oxygen. Do you believe this government? This government has lost all credibility.
Okay, let me leave it there. Clearly, Mr. Dave, we will have many more occasions to look at this and other issues. The matter is likely to come up in the Supreme Court next week. We'll see what the court has to say. Siddharth Luthra, Dushyant Dave, as always, a pleasure talking to two fine lawyers.